The Coach Pete Richardson Show, hosted by Clarence Buggs and Southern University head football coach Pete Richardson, featuring all the excitement of the Southern University football program. Brought to you by Acadian True Value Hardware, SU Jags Online, Casino Rouge, Capital Transportation Corporation, the Clayton Law Firm, Bank One, Baton Rouge Coca-Cola, and Agnes Andrews Allstate Insurance.
On Monday, it was an eternity away. By Thursday, you could almost taste it. The weekend, filled with possibilities and, oh yeah, projects. Nobody knows where you'd rather be more than True Value. We get you in and out fast with just what you need. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
Acadian True Value, serving Baton Rouge for over 25 years. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations.
People who don't have an Allstate agent, who do they turn to?
In Baton Rouge, see Agnes Andrews at 1200 South Acadian Thruway, Suite 217. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Hello and welcome to Week 9 of the Coach Pete Richardson Show. We are on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Clarence Buggs along with the coach, Pete Richardson. Coach, come home with a big win this weekend, some 515 yards in total offense. First and foremost, you got to feel good about the offensive output.
Well, this was a big game for us, especially on the road, going down and play Alcorn at their place. They play hard, especially at home, and I think our offense came out and we took control of the line of scrimmage. That was one of the goals we had to do. I think that when the game started and they went down the field on us and scored, they responded right back.
Other side of the coin, defensively, it looked like the Dog Day D of old.
Well, we're starting to develop some chemistry on defense. We have a lot of inexperienced players on our defensive team. Every game I see improvement in some of them. I think the key of that is injuries going down the way. We have some young linebackers, and they're improving every game.
Kicking game gave us a little bit of a problem in the Alcorn contest.
Well, we're concerned about our kicking game because it's been a nemesis all year. We didn't miss extra points and field goals from point-blank range, and we're going to have to improve on the area if we're going to continue to win.
Right now, let's jump straight into the highlights from the Southern University Alcorn State Braves conference matchup. Alcorn's first possession, 2nd and 9 from their own 10. Damian Ford finds Reynolds for 25 yards.
Well, Damian Ford had an exceptional game the last 2 games in a row. He's a big quarterback, about 6'4", about 210 pounds. The first drive was 16 plays. They went right down the field and scored on an opening kickoff.
12 plays later in that 16-play drive, 2nd and 5 from our 26. Ford again this time goes to Marcus Holbert.
Well, they have some fine receivers and an excellent tight end. He's about 6'5", about 240 pounds, and extremely quick for an individual his size, so he puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
Holbert takes it to the 1. From there, it's Quentin Raston in from 1 yard out, and they're up 7-0 with the PAT.
Well, when the game first started, they just took the opening kickoff and went right down the field, and I was a little concerned at that time. They were fired up, and we had to have our offense respond.
1 possession later, we stall after 4 plays. Justin Mattingly comes in, 4th and 6 to punt, and they get a big return from Reynolds.
Well, Reynolds is a great return guy. I think he's either the first or second in the conference as far as punt returns and kickoff returns, and he does a great job as far as from their football team.
Fortunately for us, the defense holds. They end up missing an Eric Newman 36-yard field goal.
Well, Newman has been kind of inconsistent, but it seems like every time we play our team, their field goal kicker is inconsistent, but when we play him, all of a sudden he starts hitting 25, 35-yard field goals. We were fortunate at that time.
Our next possession, 1st and 10 from our own 32. Terrence Levy hooks up with Michael Hayes, 28 yards to the Alcorn 40.
Well, Levy had a great game, although on the second play of the game, he injured his ankle. It seemed like every time we played down at Alcorn, one of our quarterbacks seemed to get injured. And he played as far as he could in that football game. And I think on that 3rd play of the game, we spotted wide receiver Hayes down on about the 40-yard line for a good pass for us.
First quarter ends 7-0. Alcorn, 6 plays into the second quarter. Our possession ends again with the missed field goal.
Well, we driving the field down, and this is probably the 2nd and 3rd game in a row we went down the field and missed a point-blank field goal, and we have to work on that aspect of our kicking game.
Pick it up at the next possession, 1st and 10. Alcorn from their own 37. Damian Ford's pass is incomplete. And talk a little bit about this one as we watch the slow-mo, Coach.
I think when you watch the play, the individual defender fell to the ground, and all of a sudden the ball bounced off his foot. It was an inadvertent whistle by the official, and he blew the ball dead, so everything thereafter was incomplete.
2 plays later, 1st and 10 from the Alcorn 48, Raston, fumble forced by Byron Hurst, recovery by Lenny Williams.
I think Byron Hurst had one of his finest games of the year. I see some improvement of him at that defensive end. He's starting to put some pressure on him. We didn't do a lot of stunting in this game. I think our defensive line is starting to come around, and in each game they're getting that confidence in them.
After the penalty, our offense feeds off the defense. 3rd and 12 from our own 45, Terrence Levy to Devin Lewis for 15.
Well, Devin is a big receiver also, and they're doubling on the outside, so him and Al is doing a fine job down in those seams, and of course our quarterback is doing a fine job of hitting them.
Speaking of Al, very next play, 1st and 10, Al Trevion, 14 yards from Terrence Levy.
Well, Al is one of the smallest receivers we have on our football team. When you see him as compared with the rest of them, about 6'3" or 6'4", he catches the ball, but his first step, he's full speed.
Comes right back again, this time for 11 yards.
Well, we're running those crossing routes down inside and running the outside receivers deep, so he was able to get in the seams.
14 yards, wraps it up. Michael Hayes again from Terrence Levy, and we're up 7-6.
Well, Mike is doing a good job, especially on them slant routes. They're going one-on-one on the inside, and that leaves him free for the slant.
When we come back, more highlights and much, much more. You're watching The Coach Pete Richardson Show.
Southern University alumni, faculty, and students, you can take the yard to the web thanks to SU Jags Online. That's right, SU Jags Online is the official internet service provider of the Southern University National Alumni Federation. You can communicate with long-lost classmates, get financial information, news, entertainment, and weather. Follow Jaguar Sports Live and so much more all online at SU Jags Online. Go to www.sujagsonline.net and subscribe today.
Enjoy the moments that a new day brings. Everyone in the world has a song to sing. Live every day, let it sing. Enjoy. All around the world, have a Coke and enjoy.
There's a place where you can go and join the celebration called Fun Fever. Come to where the action's hot, the sights, the sounds, the tastes, it's called Fun Fever. Shake your body, it's a party every day. Feel it in the air, Fun Fever's here to stay. Fun Fever, get to the roosh.
I'm attorney Tony Clayton. I've tried a number of cases right here in this courthouse. I've probably tried more cases in the last 10 years than most lawyers have tried their entire career. I'm not afraid of a courtroom, and I'm not afraid to try your case before a jury, which means that insurance companies either offer you a fair settlement or we go to trial. My area of practice is personal injury. If you've been seriously injured, give me a call at 344-7000 for a free consultation. You will receive prompt, professional, and personal attention from me and my staff. And remember, at the Clayton Law Firm, we'll be with you every step of the way.
Welcome back to the Coach Pete Richardson Show. Clarence Buggs and the Coach Pete Richardson on location at the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Coach, let's get straight back into the highlights. Second quarter action. Damian Ford finds himself in trouble at the hands of Michael Landry. He's down at the 1.
We had him backed up about the 15-yard line, and of course Anthony Mays went through and put a lot of pressure along with Michael Landry, and the ball was down on the 1-yard line.
One possession later, Terrence Levy looks for and finds Elvis Joseph on the shuttle pass for 24 yards.
Well, it's a shuffle pass. We try to option the defensive end coming upfield, and I think Elvis did a good job of getting inside of him and getting back to the outside for about a 15, 20-yard run.
Devin Lewis punches it in from 15. Then we come back and pick up the 2-point conversion to Haywood Guyan.
Well, it's a 2-point play we've been practicing on, had an opportunity to use. We came out and all of a sudden motion and went for the 2 points.
14-7 at that point. We move to action 3 possessions later. Damian Ford picked off by Jabari Green.
Well, we're in zone defense, and I think he tried to hit that crossing route, and I think Jabari stepped in front of the wide receiver going across, and he picked it off, and it was really a timely interception at that time.
Ensuing possession, Terrence Levy again hooks up to Al Trevion Jobert, 13 yards and the touchdown.
Al did a great job as far as getting to the flats, they were doubling on the outside, so we sprinted out and hit him going away, and he kind of ran away from their strong safety.
Half ends, 21-7, our favor. We move to 4th and 27. First possession of the next quarter. Ed Sikora comes up with a 35-yard punt, and Terrence Arnold with a 12-yard return.
Well, it was a punt that was short, and all of a sudden it bounced on the ground, and Terrence was blocking, and he seen the ball, and he picked it up, and he tried to return it for about 5 or 10 yards.
Move to the next possession, 3rd and 10 from our own 44. Terrence Levy again hooks up with Al Trevion Jobert for 13.
I think Al had a great football game. They're doubling on the outside with our wide receivers. He's running those crossing routes against those linebackers on the inside and having a great day.
2nd and 18 from the Alcorn 40. Sounds like a broken record. Terrence Levy, Al Trevion Jobert, this time for 35 big ones.
Well, I think it was a crossing route again. Al comes across on the inside on the linebackers, and once he catches the ball, he accelerates from those linebackers with great speed.
Elvis Joseph caps off this particular drive, punches it in from 5, and we're up by 20, 27-7.
Well, it seemed like it's one of the few touchdowns we had by running the football. Most of the time we're out in midfield, and all of a sudden we have a long pass for a score, and I think Elvis did a good job of running that power play off tackle.
Following possession ends with Ed Sikora punting 44 yards to our 14. Marlon Alexander returns it for 15 yards.
Well, he did a great job as far as return, and it seemed like every time we get a good return, we get somebody clipped in the back and bring it back.
Troy Williams comes in to spell Terrence Levy because of the ankle problem. 39 yards on the scramble, what he does best.
Well, we wanted to scramble in the first half, but we knew Levy was kind of nicked up on that ankle, so all of a sudden he went as far as he could, and we brought Troy in, so we went to running our misdirection plays as far as our counter trap, and we're using the quarterback to run the ball.
Third quarter ends 27-7. The fourth period starts. We pick it up 2nd and 15 from the 38. Troy picks up 18 again.
Well, it's a great run. We were in 5 outs, and all of a sudden we ran that misdirection again. The ends went upfield, and he got underneath, and he was in the secondary for the second time.
Unfortunately, 3rd and 7 from the Alcorn 37. Troy's picked off to end the drive.
Well, we threw a deep fade route as far from that point, and all of a sudden the wide receiver ran in, and he didn't throw the ball far enough, and the interception.
2 possessions later, 1st and 10 from our own 29. Williams, Troy, picks up 11 on the ground.
Well, our goal at the beginning of the year is to have our quarterbacks get anywhere from about 50 to 100 yards each game. If we can do that, especially spreading them out with that misdirection, we think we can be successful.
5 plays later, Lee Smith picks up 13 yards and another first down for the Jaguars.
Well, Lee had an injury early in the year. We're beginning to run the fullback a little more, especially on that belly play. He does a good job of winding back, especially with the line. They get that push.
Drive stalls, 4th and goal from the Alcorn 11. Justin Mattingly knocks it down from 28 out.
It was a field goal attempt, and we've been down there a number of times, and we're fortunate to capitalize on that field goal.
Alcorn comes right back. Their next possession, 2nd and 5 from their own 25, forward to Jones for 15 yards.
Well, it was a drop back by Ford. Jones is a fine wide receiver, about 6'2", 180 pounds, and he went up and took it from the defensive back.
Very next play, they pick up another 15, Quentin Raston on the ground.
Well, Quentin is a huge fullback. It looked like he's about 5'5", about 250, and he's hard to get his hands on, like a bowling ball coming up through there. Did a fine job for us.
4 plays later, 3rd and 10 from our 45. Damian Ford on the ground picks up 15.
Well, he's a tall quarterback, but he's very elusive as far as once he gets in the secondary, he creates problems.
Forward to Holbert for 12 yards, caps the touchdown drive, and it's 30-14 at that point.
Well, they went down on that drive, and I think we were up at that time, and they took the ball and drove it down the field, and we had some concern because they hit the big tight end right in the middle of the field, right underneath the goalpost for a touchdown.
We get it back on the ensuing possession. 4 plays into the drive, 1st and 10. Troy gets picked off by Parsons.
Well, it was a long fade route again, and the ball was underthrown, and that safety stepped in and picked it off.
And, of course, the final, 30-14 from the reservation, Jack Spinks Stadium on the campus of Alcorn State University. There's still more of the Coach Pete Richardson Show to come. Stay with us.
Wouldn't you love a sunroof in your car? How about a simulated convertible top or rich supple leather seats? Maybe a television entertainment system for those road trips. Tops Unlimited is the only name to know for automotive aftermarket accessories. Custom grills, ground effects and rear spoilers, wood grain dash kits, convertible top replacement, and more. It's all available at Tops Unlimited, serving Baton Rouge for over 18 years. Located at 11311 Cedar Park Avenue off Segan Lane. Our business is Tops.
Right on CTC, we're here to get you there. We're here to get you there.
city bus can take you anywhere. When you don't like traffic, the difference is huge. We're the transportation for Baton Rouge. Ride on CTC, we're here to get you there.
Even in good times, the needs of Louisiana's communities don't disappear, and sometimes their challenges can seem overwhelming. That's why Bank One Louisiana contributes more than $10,000 a day to education, medical research, the arts, and countless charitable organizations across our state. And it's why our employees devote thousands of hours to causes they believe in. We do it because some things just can't be done alone, and we think it's important to help restore the balance.
Now that's what I call fan noise.
Welcome back to the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard. Clarence Buggs along with the coach Pete Richardson for the 9th week of the Pete Richardson Show. Coach, week 9, we've got our award, our top choice players of the week. Let's start with the offensive player of the week.
I think offensively, Al Travion had a great game as far as running them crossing routes, and Levy did a great job of hitting for over 100 yards of receptions.
Let's flip the coin over and award our top choice defensive player of the week.
Defensively, I think Hurst did a great job as far as putting pressure on the quarterback. If our defensive line can continue this throughout the year, we should improve defensively.
Each and every week, we take our weekly trip around the SWAC, and without any further ado, let's start Illinois State, as we figured no problem with Prairie View, 64-0.
Well, you're talking about one of the top Division I teams in the country as far as Illinois State. They did a fine job with them as their homecoming, and that's what I expected.
Texas Southern, a little more problem than most folks thought they would get out of Valley, 30-24, the final there.
I was kind of surprised. I thought that Texas Southern, as far as offensively, could move the football, but they seemed to stamina them on defense. And, of course, their great running back came back, put a lot of pressure on Texas Southern.
Kentucky State, 34-30 winners over Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Really surprised to me. I thought Arkansas Pine Bluff had one of the finer teams in our conference, but each week, I don't know, because of injuries or morale, they seem to lose a game they shouldn't have, but I think Kentucky State did a fine job.
And the game that probably had more billing than any other in the conference this past weekend, Grambling State 33, Jackson State 30.
Well, it's a huge game for both institutions. I think they had a fine crowd, and it was down to the wire. I think a field goal won the game with the last 2 or 3 seconds, and it was a hard-fought contest on both teams.
Homecoming this week. Big game, Morris Brown. What do we know about them so far?
Well, Morris Brown is 2-5 at the present time, but their team does not indicate a 2-5 team. Coach Cosby does a great job with the football team. You can bet on one thing. Defensively, they're going to be real aggressive. Offensively, they have some fine receivers. Both of them about 6'3" or 6'4", and they have a fine quarterback that can get the ball down the field. They took Alabama A&M into overtime. And in that overtime game, they almost came out last and winning that football game. So they have a fine football team.
Homecoming, all kinds of activities going on, something planned probably for every night of the week. How big of a distraction, or is it a distraction for you and the staff and the players?
Well, it's a big distraction here, especially on our campus because of all the things that's going on, and we try to keep the players focused, but really homecoming is for the alumni and the fans, and I think the only reason the players enjoy it is after they win the victory.
You know, looking at the fact that the schedule this year has been just absolutely brutal as far as the road schedule, how much are we looking forward to finally stepping foot in A.W. Mumford Stadium for an extended period of time?
I think the players are looking forward to that because we hadn't played at home but one time this year, and of course our crowd means a great deal to us. Even on the road, it's exceptional, but when we come home, we expect them to be there and pike up our football team.
We're at the point of finally being able to realistically looking at evening our record up at 500 for the season. That's got to mean a lot to the kids after such a rocky start also.
Well, it's been a long season for them, and it's been a struggle because every game they played, they've been in those football games, and a play here or a play there that could have turned the whole season around. But I think the attitude of the players is fine, and I think they're finally coming around offensively and defensively. You have to work on our special teams, but we're looking forward to coming back home.
Injury-wise, what do we look like heading into this big homecoming contest with Morris Brown?
Well, that's been a major concern all year, and when you look at the injury list we have, I think we lost our tight end, Dan Anderson, one of our captains, and also he's the leader on our football team. They're going to operate on him on Thursday. He's going to put a pin in his leg, and that's another problem we have to deal with. But I think our players have to press on and go on from here.
Seeing that we're finally starting to maybe turn that corner a little bit, find that chemistry, what's the attitude of the staff like right now?
I think overall the staff and the players have to feel good at the present time, especially with the experience of our football team. We knew that with the losses, some players would be a tough struggle for us going into this season. Those players have responded, a lot of pressure on them, high expectations, and I think our goal is just to improve every game, and we can do that to build a foundation going and leading to next year.
When we come back, we've got a special in-studio guest for the in-studio set. Stay with us. You're watching the Coach Pete Richardson Show.
Imagine a place that understands you'd rather be doing anything on Saturday other than fixing your faucet. A place that knows you can't spend half the weekend shopping for your weekend projects. True Value. For the jobs you do most and look forward to least. Because the sooner you get done, the sooner you can get back to this thing called your life. True Value.
Acadian True Value, serving Baton Rouge for over 25 years. Visit one of our 2 convenient locations.
When you get a few tickets or accidents, some insurance companies don't want you anymore. With an Allstate agent, you can still get a second chance.
For a second chance on your auto insurance, see Agnes Andrews at 1200 South Acadian Thruway, Suite 217. You're in good hands with Allstate. Southern University alumni, faculty, and students, you can take the yard to the web thanks to SU Jags Online. That's right, SU Jags Online is the official internet service provider of the Southern University National Alumni Federation. You can communicate with long-lost classmates, get financial information, news, entertainment, and weather. Follow Jaguar Sports Live and so much more all online at SU Jags Online. Go to www.sujagsonline.net and subscribe today.
Welcome back to the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard for week 9 of the Coach Pete Richardson Show. You know, throughout the season, our studio audience has grown here at the Fox and Hound. So this week, we're instituting a new segment. We call it Ask the Coach.
Coach Richardson, Doris with the Jag Mag. We have researched Morris Brown, and we do know that Morris Brown has a very aggressive quarterback, one that'll stay in the pocket, he can take a hit, he can run, he can throw. We'd like to know if you have devised any type of a defense to stop their aggressive quarterback.
They have a fine quarterback. He's a sophomore, Dewberry. He's very elusive. They threw the ball against Alabama A&M 52 times in that game. So we're going to have to devise some type of schemes of man-to-man, rolling in the zone, showing in one scheme, try to confuse you because they spread you out all over the field.
Robert Jones with the Southern University Quarterback Club. Coach, I noticed our defense have improved from week to week, but I want to know do you have any plans in the future to put more pressure on the quarterback besides the 4-man rush?
Okay, you mentioned about putting pressure on the quarterback. Because of the inexperience of our secondary, the 4-man rushes, and we'll blitz a linebacker every now and then because of that inexperience in the secondary. But overall, I think that we have to get more pressure on the quarterback. I think our defensive line is starting to mature. A lot of those individuals are inexperienced, and you see some improvement from week to week. We have to play a little bit more man-to-man coverage because of what teams we're going to face from here on. From here on in, most of the teams we're going to play against is going to throw the football. We have to devise ways to show them one defense, roll into another one, try to confuse the quarterback. But if we can get the 4-down lineman to put the rush on, that means we can drop into them passing zones. Hopefully we can create some turnovers and probably some interceptions.
Hi, Coach. Lloyd Hinton, Acadian True Value Hardware Stores. What has been the response of the Jaguar Nation to the Southern University Jaguars' overall performance this season?
Okay, overall, when you look at our attendance and as far as our fans, I think the Jaguar Nation means a great deal, especially in Division I AA, which most of the time the attendance is around 6,000 or 7,000. Anytime you can go on the road and bring anywhere from 12 to 15,000 on the road, it has to mean important for your football team, especially with the idea of getting ready to play. Anytime that you're having a crowd that can turn the game around, and I think that happens a great deal of the time, especially some of our large games. When you're tired and you're looking up in the crowds and all of a sudden that they're cheering, you have to reach down and get a little extra, respond to that crowd, which does a fine job for us.
Go ahead. Coach, this is Jim Forbes. How's the recruiting going this year, and are you looking at any junior college transfers in?
Well, at the present time, we're in the process of evaluation on our recruiting. I think it's coming along fine, especially with the interest that a lot of local players are starting to show in our program. We also are looking at a few junior college kids. I think we have to bring them in, especially with some of the areas that we're thin in, especially on the offense and defensive line. It seems like the aging process of an offense or a defensive line is a little longer than a skilled person. And we're going to make some evaluation on some JC colleges, especially in Mississippi, which we're taking a look at the present time. But overall, I think that the crowd of juniors and seniors in the state of Louisiana is exceptional this year. And there's enough athletes in the state that we can bring into our program.
There's a place where you can go to join the celebration called Fun Fever. Come to where the action's hot, the sights, the sounds, the tastes, it's called Fun Fever. Shake your body, it's a party every day. Feel it in the air, Fun Fever's here to stay. Fun Fever, get to the roosh.
I'm attorney Tony Clayton. I've tried a number of cases right here in this courthouse. I've probably tried more cases in the last 10 years than most lawyers have tried their entire career. I'm not afraid of a courtroom, and I'm not afraid to try your case before a jury, which means that insurance companies either offer you a fair settlement or we go to trial. My area of practice is personal injury. If you've been seriously injured, give me a call at 344-7000 for a free consultation. You will receive prompt, professional, and personal attention from me and my staff. And remember, at the Clayton Law Firm, we'll be with you every step of the way.
Right on CTC, we're here to get you there. We're here to get you there. Your city bus can take you anywhere. When you don't fight traffic, the difference is huge. We're the transportation for Baton Rouge. Right on CTC, we're here to get you there.
Even in good times, the needs of Louisiana's communities don't disappear, and sometimes their challenges can seem overwhelming. That's why Bank One Louisiana contributes more than $10,000 a day to education, medical research, the arts, and countless charitable organizations across our state. And it's why our employees devote thousands of hours to causes they believe in. We do it because some things just can't be done alone, and we think it's important to help restore the balance.
Welcome back to the Pete Richardson Show from the Fox and Hound Pub and Grill on Corporate Boulevard as we wrap up Week 9. Coach, Homecoming 2000, what does it mean to the university to have the alums come back and support the program?
Well, it means a great deal, especially to our university, to bring our alums back and with the tradition we had discovered over the last 2 or 3 years. Also for the players, especially the seniors, because a lot of them have been on 3 championship football teams, and it means a great deal going out.
Lastly, we'd like to take the opportunity here at the Coach Pete Richardson Show to remind each and every one of you to please exercise your opportunity to go out and cast that all-important vote. And lastly, be sure to check out the Jaguar Journal on Oldies That Jam, 107.3 and 104.9 each and every Sunday evening from 7 until 9. On behalf of the entire production crew, our in-studio audience, and the coach, Pete Richardson, I'm Clarence Buggs. We'll see you same time, same station next week with another edition of the Coach Pete Richardson Show.